So I know we have a handful of other vignettes here relating to this project that we want to talk through.
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit about sustainability here.
Yeah, so University of Delaware does not mandate LEED in their buildings simply because they put emphasis on performance and energy savings of the building, not necessarily having to walk in the front door and see a plaque on the wall. So we did a lot of lighting calculations and daylight studying to understand a couple of things, one of which the image on the right is done with Radiance. And that was letting us understand how much light we needed on the exterior at the front entrance to highlight the slate walls, as well as how much light is needed in those front study spaces. And from those Radiance studies, the image on the left is directly from Revit, and you can see all of the circuiting is all tied together into, so we can immediately go from analysis to documentation. So there's very little manual labor involved in studying light levels and going to documenting the building.
Okay.
So what we were able to do using those tools in concert was that we could demonstrate a much lower use of lighting power density and still achieve the needed foot candles on work surfaces and different spaces.
Okay, and you talked, if I remember correctly, you talked about how you're able to get this information out of the model. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Radiance is a separate package from Revit, although Revit has it all built in now. But there's a export connection between the two, and once you've pulled it out into Radiance, you do different light studies and scenarios, and then you're able to extract that and feed it back into Revit so that your schedules stay updated, your light fixtures and wattages and bulbs all stay updated and correct.
So you're actually able to sound simple, turn the lights up and turn the lights down in order to kind of get the right kind of result in Radiance, and then you're able to take those adjustments and send that back into Revit and update all your schedules, right?
Yep, absolutely. You can study fluorescence, incandescence, LEDs, even the color temperature of the bulbs, spacings, and all of that stuff kind of goes into design decision making, as well as making sure that you're following codes for different space types.
I've never actually used Radiance. So then somehow you're able to see, I mean, it's one thing to be able to visualize it, but it's another thing, as you said, to make sure that you're hitting the code required, minimums for, for the different foot candles and different parts of the floors and so on. So you can see that in Radiance. It somehow maps that onto the floors and desks and so forth.
You can. Exactly. It gives you basically a foot candle map of surfaces that you can just kind of look at and average across the surface or the floor space.
That's awesome. Yeah, as I say, I've never used Radiance before, so that's pretty impressive. I can imagine a designer getting their hands on this software and realizing what they can do and the way they can tune their building. It would kind of make them go wild.
So there is a phenomenon, Mark, called digital overload that a lot of designers are met with.
Yeah.
The more tools we have to learn, the less efficient we get in all of them. So there's a fine line between doing everything and doing the important big things. So
I know, but can't you imagine a designer seeing this and saying, "Wait a minute, I can do what?"
Yeah. Yep.
You come over here, sit down. Let's adjust these colors and let's adjust the let's reduce the fixtures and so forth. You can kind of see how they could go wild in this. It's pretty cool.